President Biden has lifted restrictions on Ukraine using US weapons to strike deeper inside Russia. President Zelensky has been pushing Western allies to allow his forces to use the missiles. It's believed the decision could help shift momentum in the conflict. Sky Security and Defence Editor Deborah Haynes joins me now from Rio de Janeiro, where the G20 summit is due to start tomorrow. And this news will come as a huge relief to President Zelensky, who has been calling for it for many weeks.
It will, and Joe Biden is actually going to be coming here to Rio de Janeiro, where he will be meeting alongside other world leaders like China's president. He met him yesterday, actually, on the sidelines of a different summit in Peru. Vladimir Putin normally comes to the G20, Russia, of course, a member, but he is facing arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court, and so is not going to be here. He said previously that his presence would be a distraction, but you can be sure that Russia's war in Ukraine will be talked about on the sidelines of the summit and as well as inside the centre. And for Joe Biden to make this decision now, after months of deliberating over whether or not he was going to allow the Ukrainians to use these long-range army tactical missile systems. They are ballistic missiles launched from ground-based systems against targets inside Russia, something that the Americans seem to have been hesitant to allow, concerned that it might then prompt an escalatory response by Russia. But according to reports in the New York Times, the sudden decision by the North Koreans to join Russian forces on the battlefield at the moment inside Russia, fighting against Ukrainian troops that have seized parts of the Kursk region, that is the trigger for this decision by the United States. And now all eyes surely are going to be on other allies of Ukraine, the UK, for example, which has for a long time also been asked by the Ukrainians to allow its forces to use their Storm Shadow cruise missiles against targets inside Russia. The British have been more forward-leaning, more seemingly willing to allow the Ukrainians to use these weapons, but had been waiting for a decision by the United States. Now that seems to have come. All eyes, of course, are going to be on what Keir Starmer, who's going to be here as well in Rio, will say, and whether he will confirm that British missiles can also be used by the Ukrainians.